It's Amigos, episode 300. Ah! Hi, everybody. Welcome to Amigos. I'm John.
And I'm Aaron.
And welcome to a very special episode of Amigos. It is episode 300. Oh boy. This is a momentous occasion, Aaron. This is the longest I've ever done anything in my life.
I believe you. Having seen your back catalog of one and dones, including the sailboat, the virtual reality, the records, all that stuff. I'm glad to see you're sticking with something, Boat. Now we're off to a good start, man.
Yeah. So, this episode, we're not going to play a game. So if this is your first episode listening to Amigos, you should probably just stop and listen to any one of the 299 episodes that come before this one, because we're tossing the formula out the window. This is going to be sort of an episode where we look back on some of the highlights, some of the lowlights. And we got a couple fun surprises. We're going to give a bunch of things away. If you like free stuff and you like Amiga, you're gonna be in for a treat on this episode. Yeah. So, Aaron, probably where do you think we should start with this thing, man?
You know, I do want to just as a brief, it's not really a sidebar, but on the subject. You know, I did a lot of back catalog looking for this episode, including I looked at some of our previous anniversary episodes, Boat. And we're getting to the point now where we could almost have a special just on those. But I watched those, and every time we've done one of these, I count 100, 200, and 300, you know. And then, of course, me and Brett had the big, I think it was ARG 150, we did something. So we've done some of these. But we always talk about how the show started. We always talk about how far we've gone, how far we're going to go, or whatever. But I will say, and I mean this sincerely, not to start the show off on a mushy note, but through this pandemic, the show has really kept me focused on something. I think our last anniversary episode was, which was 200, was in 2019, I believe. In fact, I think it was almost 2 years ago, almost to the day.
Yeah, it's funny how 50 episode increments happen almost every year.
Well, yeah, there you go, smart. Well, now you're killing me. But my point is, who knew when we did 200 that getting to 300 was going to be such a colossal, calamitous pain with all the pandemic? So, I mean, it's been a rough ride since that one. And I will say, I want to thank the community, all the supporters, advertisers, and all of our friends for just staying with us during this thing and keeping the ball rolling. The community keeps us going, man, and it's been good therapy for your boy.
Well, you know, we say we talk about the beginnings of the show, you know, once every 100 episodes, but we've picked up quite a few listeners since episode 200, and so I think that we would be remiss not to at least take a brief look back and briefly reminisce about the very beginnings of the show, of the Amigos podcast. So, Aaron, you really were the genesis behind this idea. Why don't you tell everybody about how this got started?
Well, you know, and this hasn't changed. I've always been a big listener of podcasts because I travel a lot, and this is even before I had the job with the state. I just traveled a lot, and I would listen to stuff in the car. And I would listen to a lot of podcasts. Like I said, I listened to Retro Gaming Radio, Shit on Monroe back in the 90s. And like I said, it was the first time I'd ever heard any podcast. And it was a retro gaming podcast, you know. And so I was like, man, this is what I like. I like hearing about this stuff in the car. And I listened to all of them. And at the time, there weren't that many. And I could not find any of them that focused on the Amiga. And I couldn't figure out why. I'm like, my God, here's a machine that has all this power. It had all these great games. You know, why did I not hear about it? Now, at the time, I wasn't as knowledgeable as I am now as to why. And the reason for us, Bo, is because we're in America, and no one over here hardly had them.
Non-factor.
And so, but I thought, man, this right here is your podcast. This is the way to go. And then I think I just mentioned to you briefly at a party one night Because I don't know, had you already started your other podcast at the time?
So I at this point, at the time that we started the show, I had already had 2 podcasts under my belt. So I came with a certain amount of experience of how the back end worked, at least. When I lived in Newport News back in 2005, I started a podcast. That was when I first got into podcasts, and it was only 3 or 4 episodes long, and it was about music. I would play CDs I liked, and I would talk in between the tracks about stuff. But when then I started in 2013 or probably 2013, I started a podcast with my best friend from college. And this actually achieved a small amount of renown, at least among the alumni of my institution, the great school, Ohio University. And so that sort of made me realize that it was possible to do a podcast. It wasn't beyond the possibility of myself to do this thing. And I would be remiss to not give a big thank you to Rob Flack O'Hara. There are 3 people that I consider to be on my personal Mount Rushmore of podcasting. And this has nothing to do with the quality of the shows or anything like that. It's more just like these are the people that influence me most when it comes to podcasting. The first one is Leo Laporte. When I first listened to This Week in Tech and all those shows, and I was like, man, this is great. This is something that you could listen to that's just as good as stuff that's on the radio. And the second person was Jeff Gersman, who hosts the Giant Bombcast. That was the first video game podcast that didn't want to make me die inside, because there's a lot of bad video game podcasts, as you know. And the third one was, of course, Rob Flack O'Hara and his podcast, You Don't Know Flack, and later on Sprite Castle. Listening to him do the show, and the thing about Rob that makes him special is that he's a one-man show, and one-man shows are not easy to do. You got to have talent to make a one-man show work, and he's got talent. And it was his How to Get Started with Podcasting episode on You Don't Know Flack, that lit the fire under me and got me to start doing this stuff. And so those 3 guys are sort of, I want to give them some props. So but anyway, I knew that we could do it. And we talked about it, and so the next week after we talked about it, we started the show, right, Aaron?
No, I can't remember how many months it was between.
It was probably a year. It was probably a good
because
year.
I really had listen. I'll talk a good game, but listen. And Roy, honestly, but I didn't know you that well. To be completely honest with you, you're just another one of the Brent's geeky pals, and so I didn't think it's not like we were hanging around all the time. We just see each other at Brent's house.
I knew you, but I barely knew you before we started the show.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, listen, we had done the show for about 6 months, and I was like, okay, I finally figured out who the hell this guy is. I mean, that's how it was.
Yeah, you came over.
It's not like we were hanging and banging every day.
And that's part of the reason why those early episodes are so different than the episodes now. Because, as we've gotten closer as friends, we've been able to be, we've been able to act more normal around each other. In the early days of the show, like you said, we were still kind of feeling each other out.
Right, yeah. And then, I will say you were persistent. What do you, we've talked this story a few times, but I never have asked you this. Why were you so much of a badger and persistent spudhead on this particular show? I just can't figure it out. You didn't have an Amiga. You had no connection to the Amiga. You didn't know anything about me. So why were you so gung-ho to do it?
I'll tell you this. I may not have many skills, but I consider myself to be a pretty darn good judge of talent. And you, my friend, are excellent on the stick. I knew
that can't
from the
be
first time that I talked to you that you could go on anything for any amount of time. And if there's one thing you need in a podcast, it's somebody that can go on any subject for any amount of time.
A blowhard is what you're saying.
Yes. And I figured, why not the Amiga? Because, I did my research just like anybody else. There were Amiga podcasts, but they were not regular. The English language podcast was hosted by some guys in Poland. And it was fine, but it wasn't the kind of show that I thought, I thought we could fill a void that wasn't there. And back in 2015, the podcasting world, it was a lot easier to get a foothold than it is now. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that's true. And I will say, you mentioned your Mount Rushmore here. I do want to, and I usually mention the same couple people. Rob, of course, the exact podcast you're talking about with how to make a podcast. That's the first time I even remotely considered it. And then I will say that. And then of course, Shane R. Monroe was at the top right there because he's the first guy I heard doing it. I listened to a lot of the old the retro asylums with when Swaney and the original guys, the original crew. Now, like I said, that crew changes up a lot, and I know Dean is still there, but I used to listen to a lot of their stuff, and that's where I really got my first taste of like the British side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so that I would say that was a pretty influential show to me as well from back in the day. And those guys are still cooking, but I listened to a lot of shows, but everyone that I listened to was real talented, and so that was one of the reasons I never thought I would do one. Because but I mean, I guess when you start a show like this and you don't really think there's anything, you can't really screw it up because you're coming from the absolute bottom. Then it does give you a little freedom of movement there. So that's sort of how I think we got better.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something else that happened too. I'll tell you something, brother. There, for the first time when we started doing the show. Because this was something that I didn't know about when I started my show with Greg, is that there was a hack you could do with Blogger to where you could fool Blogger into publishing podcast episodes for free because there was no anchor. There weren't all of these platforms where you could do all this stuff for nothing. And I was like, boy, does paying Podbean $20 a month to do a weekly Amiga podcast that nobody's going to listen to make sense? And I was like, no. And so part of the part of what made this go forward was my discovery of being able to shoehorn Blogger into publishing podcasts.
Is that what we were doing for all those years? So that's what you had me doing?
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what we were doing. I thought to myself, this is a real weird way to do this.
Oh, yeah. Remember all those things I had you copy and paste in every episode?
You're kidding me. Well, see, there's something new right there. I had no idea what you were doing there.
Yeah. My cheapery strikes again.
Good for you. I approve that. I love it, man.
and so, but anyway, we started doing the show, and it took us about a year. It took us about a year to make the switch to video. It's hard to believe that we did almost a year of shows without video. It was audio only.
I remember the exact day because you didn't tell me we were doing it. As you,
I always tell you when things are different.
You told me nothing. So when I showed up, you're like, look, I saw the cameras and stuff. I'm like, oh, or the camera. And I was like, oh, God, no. And because listen, I am a big oaf of a big, disturbing looking man.
You're a damn handsome man.
Oh, yeah. And so now you're dragging me on camera. You got to be joking, but here we are. I don't know.
Well, I knew, just like with everything, whenever I tell you about an idea, you immediately poo-poo it. You say, no way.
That's right.
And so if I just don't tell you about the idea and I spring it upon you, then I ended up dragging you along behind me.
Anyone that's seen that very first episode of 1200 XL, like that was not a shoot. I walked in and sat down and Bo just started recording an episode of 1200 XL without telling me. And the only way he got away with it was that he picked a game that he knew, because Boat's a genius. He knew I was an expert at this game, and I knew all about it. And so he picked this game, and didn't tell me we were starting a new show. That's how cagey he is. I guess that's cagey is the nice word for what it is.
Yeah.
So yes, you had a way of shoehorning me in you've influenced me, quote unquote, to do a lot of things that I normally wouldn't have done.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, we have some things to give away today, but before we give anything away, I think it's time to get away. I don't know what that means. We're getting things. Okay, so this is a thank you to us from ourselves and RetroRewind.ca. Mr. Frank has sent us this package all the way up from lovely Toronto, Canada.
It's funny because I got a package from Mr. Frank today as well with a bunch of troubleshooting stuff for my 500 in the mail.
Oh, fantastic!
Double thank you, Frank.
So inside here, it says we have this custom card here. Load tea and sweets, (8,1). He's using that C64 language I love so much.
Cute.
That's love language.
Yeah.
Here is our retro tea and some sugary sweets. Enjoy. Team Retro Rewind. And look at this, Aaron. He's given us both Retro Rewind shirts.
Cool.
Look at that.
Yeah, man.
Frank has been with us as a sponsor, I would say, for about 6 months or so. And you couldn't ask any company to be a better a better supporter of the show than Frank and Retro Rewind. I mean, not only does he make just the best stuff in terms of our hobby, but he's also, he's a huge member of the community. He's one of the Team Speaker regulars. He's a great guy.
He also he's a darn good gamer, Boat. And I've spent many hours with Frank on the racetrack with tanks and everything. And so yeah, he stops in with TeamSpeak all the time.
And look at this, Aaron. He's also included, quite apropos, some nerds.
I'm trying to say, Frank. I'm appalled by that.
Aaron, I've always wanted to ask you this question.
All right.
What do you think about the Nerd Blizzard?
I've never had one.
Really?
No.
Because that was my go-to as a kid. That was what I always got. And when they took that away, it was like they took away a piece of my soul.
Well, no big loss, but case. You're going to heaven, my friend. You don't have to worry about it. You can afford a piece.
Frank has also included some Airheads. I'm a fan of the Airhead.
Boy,
you know what I'm
Frank's
saying.
not the one to see favors with his candy.
No.
All the candy's derogatory.
Double bubble. So thank you so much for the sweets and the teas. I would put this shirt on right now, but that would I would have, maybe I'll do that during one of our mini video breaks.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that, Frank. Check out Retro Rewind. That's a good outfit, and Frank's a real good guy.
Yeah. All right. Now, we're going to start things off with another, Retro Rewind is the gift that keeps on giving, because now it's time to do our first trivia segment, Aaron.
Oh, man.
Now, speaking of springing things on you with no warning.
Yeah.
Things are going to get real interesting real quick, guys. Aaron, take it away.
Well, Boat told me about 10 minutes before the show started that we were going to have a third person involved in this quiz segment, our good pal Pixels at Dawn. Well, we've never tried that before with this particular setup, so we're going to attempt it right now. So, Boat,
all right,
I'm going to switch over to our quiz zone.
Okay.
And then we're going. Now, listen, you guys know how this goes, so here we go. All right. I see. Good to know his head is still in place.
Okay, I think he's still free. Okay, here. Okay, bam.
There he is. Holy smoke! Say something, Pix.
Hello.
All right, there it is. Welcome aboard, Pix. Tell us what we got going on here.
The Amigos Trivia Challenge right here, right now on Twitch. And I'd like to welcome everyone to our illustrious host, Pixels at Dawn.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I hope you're ready for some good quizzing. So, round one. Oh, I'm moving around a bit. So, what county, not country, we know the boys come from God's own West Virginia, but what county do they reside in? Is it Boone County, Wayne County, Putnam County, or Doddridge County?
I'm impressed that they got all the counties, Boat. Who made this? Did you make this, Boat?
I made this.
Oh, I thought Pixels did. I was very impressed, Pixels.
Although I'm sure Pixels does know the answer.
All right, should I reveal? Here we go. Revealing answer now.
The answer is Putnam County.
Wow, I'm surprised that people missed that.
Four people got that right.
Answers, not bad.
It's a good start. Okay.
We'll show the scores. How many questions are there on the first quiz?
There's 10 questions.
Okay, we'll do 3 and then we'll show the scores.
Sounds good.
Good to me.
Here's the next question.
Okay, question 2. Which group has one of its songs inscribed on the CD32 board? Is it the B-52s, The Cure, The Cult, or Susie and the Banshees?
Man, that's Susie. Good Lord. My buddy had such a crush on her, I could not figure that out. All right.
Okay.
Here we go. Answer time.
And the answer is Susie and the Banshees.
Oh, wow. Hey, I blew that one, too.
All the other ones had B-52s on, but
of all the
CD32
are you kidding me?
had Susie and the Banshees.
Yeah, live and learn. Boat, you didn't know that. You had to have looked that one
Heck
up.
yeah, I knew it.
Here's the next question, everybody.
Since day one.
Bam.
Okay, here's a tricky one for you. How many fins are there along the rear top of the Amiga 500? Now, if you've got one on the desk, you can count very quickly if you can.
I bet Dave in Arizona knows. I bet all the 3D printing types know this. Because it's probably been a nightmare for them to reproduce at some point.
Okay. So the answer is 72.
No kidding. Gosh, a lot of people got that.
I think there might be a couple of Amiga fans here.
Well, I'm just saying, that's not, I'm an Amiga fan. I don't know that. Who sits around counting that? All right, here are the scores through 3. Well, I'm not surprised Buck Owens is involved in there.
So,
and then, he got
heading the charge, Mitsuyama there, 9,335. Closely followed by Paul Kitching and the enigmatic contestant 12.
Yeah.
And we've got Jason Wards and Buck Owens rounding up our top 5. Okay, question number 4. What famous UK snack inspired a dramatic manual reading on a very special episode of the Amigos? Is it Cherry Bakewells, Jaffa Cakes, Quavers, or Jammy Dodgers?
Oh, man, I do remember that. All right, here we go. Bam.
The answer is Quavers.
You knew it was Quavers.
From the was that One Step Beyond, or was it Pushover?
One Step Beyond, that's correct.
Mm.
That was also the first episode where we gave up the ghost of filming without a table in front of the television set.
It said it. That's how you remember the shows, Boat. Here we go.
Okay. In what year did Commodore and Chelsea Football Club agree on a shirt sponsorship deal? Was it 1986, 1987, 1988, or 1989?
Someone should be making those shirts. They'd probably be making a mint right now.
Mm-hmm. They're nice shirts, actually.
Of course, it's soccer, so I mean, you couldn't wear them over here. All right.
So the answer is 1987.
Good boy.
I was 6.
Right before it. It's just a few years before that. Who knew they were going to tip over so quickly after that?
They could have used some of those millions a few years later, that's for sure.
All right, here we go. Next question.
Okay, number 6.
Ha ha!
Who is the longest still supporting patron of the Amigos? Is it Chris Foltz, Bjorn Barman, O'Brien's Retro and Vintage, or Paul Bossman Harrington?
You know, one thing I noticed is going through all these is like a lot of those Patreons have been there for Jump Street. They never.
All of these guys have been here for a very, very long time.
Oh, yeah. And the correct answer is one of the finest purveyors of retro, O'Brien's Retro and Vintage.
But Folds was there real early on too. It had to be real close.
There's a few episodes between them, I think.
All right, let's have the scores then, shall we?
Okay, give them the scores. Okay, so jumping to the top of the table,
Whoa.
Dave Velociraptor with 9,286.
What happened, Mitch? The wheels came off.
Scottish power. That's what that is.
Anthony Jarvis from the Amiga Show is there in second place. I'm guessing that's Kim Tommy Humberstadt in third there. Mitsuyama dropped to fourth, followed by Paul Kitching.
It's anybody's game. Anybody's game.
Here we go. I don't know what question number we're on, so
question 7.
Here we go.
Jay Miner, father of the Amiga, previously developed which computer? Commodore 64, the Apple II, TRS-80, or the Atari 800?
I think this is going to be no one's missing this. Come on, Dave. You're a smart fella. It's just early for you. That's the reason you're having trouble. Here we go. Yes. Oh, we did have some misses.
Yeah, the Atari 800 is the correct answer.
I can't believe that L. Curtis Boyle said the TRS-80, but that's just a guess. I bet he did. All right, here's the next one.
Question 8. Which quintessential British food did Pixels at Dawn bake for Boat at Amiga Island 2019? Was it mince pie? Was it Yorkshire pudding? Was it Builder's tea? Or was it the Old Leicester special?
These all sound hideous. I know when y'all talk about pie, you don't mean pie. And when y'all talk about pudding, you darn sure don't mean pudding.
Correct.
And the Leicestershire special fills me with a certain sense of dread. All right, here we go.
correct answer is mince pie, but I hadn't had a mince pie before, so I brought a bunch with me that I
they were delicious.
my own oven. Yes.
What is the Leicestershire special, Pix, if I may ask?
I believe that's just something that Bo has made up.
Yes, that's something that I made up.
I hope.
All right, there's the scores through 8.
Okay, Edwin Helland. He's now
sprung to
jumped
life
up to first place.
He knew because he was at Amiga Ireland in 2019.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't believe Edwin's just going to work here. Okay,
Followed
here we go.
swiftly by Anthony Jarvis.
Is it total of 10, right, Boat?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Here we go.
So
2 more to go. Here we go.
Okay, question number 9. The
Number 9.
first computer Dave Haney ever purchased was the Apple II, the XD Wizard, the Altair 8800, or the Commodore PET.
Now, this came up in your interview, Boat.
That's right.
I knew this because I was stunned when he said. You had the beginnings of an awesome interview there. You needed about 2 more hours. I think you had the all-time great. Here's the answer, everybody.
The correct answer is the XD Wizard.
Yeah, that is a bizarre one.
It is a bizarre one.
Thank you, ARG, for even letting me know what the heck that is.
Shows how many people actually watched that Dave Haney interview from Amiga Ireland.
Hey, no, actually, that got over big time in the live chat, and they weren't happy when it ended.
Yeah,
all right,
well.
This is the last question. This is for all. Should we show the scores just before the last? Let's show them.
Sure, one more time.
There they are. Holy cow! That total scores. It's up and down like a yo-yo.
Here comes the Z9K9 to take take the top of the high score table once again.
Z9, they don't call him King Dong for nothing. All right, here we go. Last question. This is for all the ducats. Here we go.
Question 10. Which game was featured on the very first episode of Amigos? Was it Super Frog? Was it Cannon Fodder? Was it Hybris? Or was it Gods? Everybody should know this one.
We didn't put much thought into that either, did we, Boat?
Hey,
Boat didn't know any of the games. And
Hybris could have been the biggest game in the world for the Amiga. I would have believed it.
And there it
the correct
is.
answer is Hybris, of course. Excellent shooting
there
up.
it is. Now, shall we see who is the King Dong of round 1 here? Excellent work. Here's the final results, ladies and gentlemen. Bam! Look at that. Coming from way back.
Z9K9 out of nowhere coming up.
Excellent work.
Congratulations, Z9K9. You are the proud winner of a $20 gift certificate from Retro Rewind. Remember to use that in conjunction with the promo code Amigos Spring Fun to save an additional 10% off your order. And Frank has just sent me a message informing me that he is donating all of the profits from the sales of contest winners to a charity of our choice.
Oh.
So when the 3 winners spend their $20, because we're giving away 3 of these today, the entire sales profit will be donated. Frank, you're 1 in a million, man. Thank you so much.
Very good. In fact, I know a pretty good charity, but we'll talk about that later.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, Pix, I guess we're going to be catching you again here shortly, my friend.
I'll see you later on.
All righty.
All right.
Have a good show.
Now, Aaron, I think it's about time that we cut on over to our first video segment of the evening. What do you think?
I think so. So, just to set these up, we've done a couple little video montage, if you will. And I tried to go back. Again, we've done several of these shows. I wanted to find some stuff that hadn't been seen for a long time, or some of this ever. So, as I place this in front of you, all I can say is to forgive us, or thanks for forgiving us. We are quite bad. Boat, here we go.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Amigos. I'm John.
And I'm Aaron.
We're going to stop this again. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Amigos. I'm John. I'm Aaron.
Good.
Oh, hi, everybody. Hola. This is the way we do it south of the border.
Yeah. With the glasses and everything. I often see luchadors donning glasses.
See. The hell is that? Die.
I've emerged from the green screen.
No kidding.
I'm also half dressed.
Are we on? Hey everyone, welcome to the pre-show. Take 2 in this case. I have insta screwed up on the pre-show and forgot to hit record.
This is our second attempt at recording. The first attempt, I forgot we were supposed to record the pre-show, and I started it like the normal show, and then I remembered that it wasn't, and I got mixed up. And so here we are again.
You don't always hate
this show.
No, well, I love this show so much. But when you listen to a podcast, right? And you can tell this up there pissed off. Well, I've screwed this thing up, and I recorded it. And you think, and they're always like, man, that first recording was so great.
It was immaculate.
And I'm always like, well, dang. Every time I hear this, I'm like, dang. I know I missed the good stuff. Now they're giving me the crap.
Right.
And so we can assure you, our faithful viewers, listeners, that
what
you missed nothing, and it was garbage.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to our new room. This is the new Amigos studio. This is a render created by Paul Kitching. And I got in touch with Paul over a misunderstanding because apparently there are two Paul Kitchings that are really into the Amigos.
This is Big Hour 19. And 19. Remember that song?
19.
So,
how's it going, Aaron?
How's it going, Boat?
And this is our new background. Let me delete us.
When I'm not playing The Lost Eye of Thundera on my Commodore Amiga 500, I love nothing more than cruising Third Earth in the Thunder Tank, listening to Aaron and John on the Amigos podcast.
It's good to be here.
So we have our brand new Blue Yeti mic. Did I tell you what happened to our last Blue Yeti mic?
You said it. You need to scoot that over.
I don't care.
Fair enough.
Everybody, it's John and Aaron from the Amigos. I hope you guys are enjoying Amy West. Seems like a really cool event. I'm sorry that not everybody could participate in person this time, but I'm so glad that the premiere event of Amiga in California is still going strong.
you ever been to Sacramento, Boat?
No.
No, Sacktown.
Is that what they call it?
Right? I think so. Sacktown. Sounds kind of vulgar.
It does.
So let me ask you a question. You've been to California, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what's the vibe out there?
It's a laid-back vibe. You know, it's
Yeah.
the West Coast. It's the best coast.
How's it different from West Virginia? Because I kind of thought we were laid back.
Well, we're a different kind of laid-back. Our laid-back is drug-induced. Of course, theirs probably is too, but just a different kind of drug.
I see. So it's a more expensive drug, that's for sure. This is, this is no good.
What are you
We can't
talking
send
about?
This is horrible, Bo.
You just broke it, man. We were doing just
Yeah,
fine.
I did. We can't talk about drugs at Amy West.
That's all we
It was my
do.
fault. And it was my fault. I also said Sacktown was vulgar. You can't send that. I'll tell you, quick commentary. It's sad when you live in a world where you can't review a 16-bit, God knows how many year-old, decades-old game without fear of reprisal because there are some pixelated, wet nudity in the game.
So, hardball. Before we get to it, man, it's just terrible. Let's just start again. Our new thing where instead of having a booze of the week, we have a cocktail of the week. So, all right, so we got this, and we just kind of give it a little shake.
And this is the result. It doesn't smell very good.
It doesn't smell very good. You can really
good.
smell that lemon juice.
It smells god awful. It smells like bathroom for some reason. I don't know.
This is terrible. Wow. Man, that's nasty.
That's a dud, Boat. That's a waste of Grey Goose right there,
So
sir.
the boat, Cosmo.
What you can do here? I'm going to tell you how to make this better. Uncork the Grey Goose and then give me about twice what's in there now.
Okay.
And then we'll try it then. Because
Maybe that was the problem.
This is not. It doesn't taste like alcohol. It tastes like you just poured a bunch of lemon juice in the glass. That's good.
Okay. Yeah. The issue is that lemon juice is really overpowering.
That sucks, Bo. That's no
Yeah.
good. That's a fail.
Do you do any mime or puppetry?
I do a little of both.
Really? Can we see a little something?
I'm not prepared.
Can you do a little mime right now?
I got this one. You ready?
Yeah.
You like that?
I don't.
That's getting into a car.
That's really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'd stick with puppetry then, sir.
Okay, well, you'll see a little puppetry next week. So, Aaron, on Amigos, we're frequently asked about the environs that we reside in. I'm talking about Hurricane. I'm talking about the surrounding Tri-County area. So we decided to take it upon ourselves to give you a little visual tour of the area. We hit all the main places to go. So whenever you do make it to Boat Fest 2022, you can kind of get a glimpse of all the stops on the Amigo Aaron bus tour. So get ready, get set, let's hit it. All right, and we kick things off at the pad. This is Amigo Studios East, aka the home
Amigo
of
Aaron.
Amigo Aaron.
Amigo Aaron. It's 6 a.m. It's time to roll.
What are you doing here so early? You idiot! What the heck are we doing?
We're going out. We're going to see the sights, everything that Hurricane, West Virginia has to offer.
Okay.
Get the sleeping tunic off. Let's get it going.
I'll get my revolver.
All right, now, after we picked up Aaron at 6:30 a.m., the first place that we went was Schaefer's Drive-In, because nothing says 6:30 a.m. like Schaefer's Drive-In. It was already hopping.
Like a bacon cheeseburger, Boat. Boat told me he'd never been to a drive-in, which I found stunning. These are pretty prevalent around these parts. And my favorite part of this clip is to watch this little kid wonder why Boat's filming him. See? He's like, what's that idiot doing?
Well, I mean, if anything represents Schaefer's Drive-In, it's walking out of your car, lumbering up to throw away your trash before you get out of there.
Good eating, though.
So then we went to the Milton Drive-In, the Milton Flea Market. Now, the Milton Flea Market is a place that is that looms large in all of our memories. This is a place when I first got my driver's license, I came here every weekend to see the wares. Now I will say that they've really upped the game in terms of the CBD products in the vape shops.
Yeah.
In the flea market. However, you can still find your old standbys. The guy that's selling coins. You've got the guy that's selling all of the
Look at this chick's hair, Boat.
Yeah. Check this. Bam.
Man.
Only in West Virginia we see hair like that. And now check this out. There's actually a new psychic reading place that opened up here. You can get your Mystic Gypsy readings by Christopher Pat.
My cousin was a gypsy, for real.
Yeah. So we saw all there was to see. We cleared out. I did buy a machete. This was a British alligator brand machete. Eve was very pleased with this, by the way, Aaron. You poo-pooed it.
Any thoughts on the flea market?
Likes, and that's sharp objects.
The way I remember.
So she was a fan, and of course, before we left, I'm sure there's audio playing here that I'm talking over.
But right here is where you discuss the tire man. Over here.
Oh yes, the tire. You can't leave without paying your respects.
This is the
tire man over there in the field.
You always gotta acknowledge his presence.
That's pretty much, that's what the Milton Flea Market's all about. You go there, you get what you need for life.
We don't want to confuse anyone. That's not the hillbilly flea market. Now, after you go to the flea market, you have to take a break to relax, have a drink, and we have to go to our favorite spot. Bam, the Coal Miners Lounge.
Yeah.
Coal Miners Lounge for that one. And then it's time. For a trip to the mound.
It's time to go to the mound. Now, there was an elf prom going on at the base of the mound. And what I discovered was the day that we were out was the coordinated day where all of the virtual students, the students that, are staying home because they're terrified of COVID or their parents are, this was the day that they all decided to go to prom together, because a ton of my students, my former students that are now in high school that were virtual students, somebody decided on Facebook that if you have kids that are virtual, this is the day they're going out on the prom. So all the elf chicks decided to get together and go out to the mound, which is what you do.
Were they effectively, they were their own dates? Is that what you're saying?
That's right. I
like that. Listen, there's nothing wrong with a coven of witchy elves at the bottom of a weird Indian burial mound. I'm down with that, Bo.
So here that was the Mound of South Charleston. Of course, we closed things out. This is the same Tudor's Biscuit World that Rob Flacco Hara has visited.
Put him over.
It's a wonder there's not a plaque there that said Rob was here. But this is directly across the street from Boat Fest. We were going to actually do a little bit at the hotel where Boat Fest is going down, but the traffic was heavy and it was hard to cross.
Look, we tried to stop him, but Boat can't get enough.
Yeah, I had to run in and get some food. Aaron, we're going to move on down the line, And why don't we go ahead and do another trivia segment? You ready for that? Again,
okay.
if you just joined us, we are giving away $20 gift certificate to Retro Rewind, retrorewind.ca, official sponsor of the Amigos. And if you win, you can combine that with the Amigos Spring Fund promo code to save an additional 10% off your order. And Retro Rewind is donating all of the profits from these sales to charity.
Very
so
awesome.
Good on. So yeah, this is another 10 additional questions alternating between your Amigos knowledge and your Amiga knowledge.
Oh, very good. All right, Pixels, are you ready, sir?
I certainly am, sir. Round 2 commence.
Bam.
So, question 1 of round 2. How many different abilities do lemmings have in the original game?
Now, Pix, I know you're somewhat of a lemmings expert. In the later games, do they actually earn or get additional abilities?
There's a lot. There's several times more abilities in lemmings.
Like tribes and stuff. That gets real bizarre.
Yeah.
All right, and here we go with your answer.
So the correct answer is 8.
That was a tough one. I think I would have said 10 as well. I would have been wrong, too.
Yeah. It was between 8 and 9, I think.
All right, next question.
Okay. Here comes a Amigos Network question. How many episodes did Boat do of ARG Presents before handing the reins to the Brent?
Yes. By the way, the Brent was going to pop in, but of course, he doesn't want to get sick either. So the Brent's been on many episodes of the Amigos over the years. All right. Here we go. Boat, do you know the answer to this one?
Yes, because I wrote the question.
Oh, well, but I keep forgetting. I keep thinking Pixels did. You'd think I'd catch on after a while. But no, you had to chime in and make me look dumb, didn't you, Boat?
That's what I do.
Said 16. You got the right answer. Well done.
All right. 16 episodes, Boat. Now you want back in, don't you? Admit it.
Okay, who has a monstrous time in Shadow of the Beast? Is it Arbron, Aragorn, Airhorn, or Beastie?
You do tests at your school?
I do the standardized testing. They put me in charge of that.
No kidding. I think if I took your test, I'd use the old abracadabra method. Here we go. I particularly like Airhorn and Beastie. Both are good answers. Someone selected both of those. So you successfully fooled two different people. If you selected Airhorn, I want you to sound off in the chat room right now so you can get ridiculed.
Okay, question 4.
You're killing me, Xenon. After this one,
what is Aaron's favourite dessert? Is it lemon pie? Is it Mile High Mint Choc Chip Pie? Is it Mississippi Mud Pie? Or is it booze?
This is a trick question. Trick question.
Doesn't appear to be an all of the above answer.
Take off, Pix. What are you saying? And the answer. That's right. Man, that was a landslide. People knew that one. Have we talked about Mississippi mud that many times?
I'd call it a mudslide myself.
Oh, okay, let's look at the scores. So I can try to get that joke out of my brain.
So after 4 questions, Scumboy is leading the way.
Killing it. Which is funny because Scumboy just started tuning in recently. Scumboy, he must have done his homework.
Frodo NL's right up there, as is another enigmatic person. Contestant 31.
Here we go.
Buck Owens, top 5 there.
I like the fact that we could have that many contestants. What?
Famous game quotes. It's a skull. Is that from Valhalla and the Lord of Infinity? Is it Maniac Mansion? Is it Flight of the Amazon Queen? Or is it Megalomania?
I know this one. You and I recall this one. Here we go.
Correct answer is, of course, Valhalla and the Lord of Infinity.
That's not what I thought the answer was.
No.
I thought it wasn't there a talking skull in Flight of the Amazon Queen?
Probably, but it didn't say it's a skull because it was a talking skull.
Oh, there you go. Here we go.
And I will say that I think, Pix, you actually wrote that question. That was one of the alternate questions for the Amiga Ireland trivia question.
Oh, here we go. Yes. This is an interesting one.
Who was the first guest interviewed on the Amigos? Was it David Pleasance? Was it Rob Flack O'Hara? Was it Amiga Bill? Or was it the Oliver twins? All big luminaries there.
Yeah.
Of course, there can be only one answer. It's the one, the only Rob Flack O'Hara, Jack Flack himself.
Yeah.
Pretty evenly split on the votes on that one.
Yeah.
I think the next ones we did were the twins, and I wasn't even there for that one, Bo. That was one of your solo. I wasn't there for Rob either.
Or Amiga Bill.
You're right. Damn it. Stupid job.
Trying to tell you something.
Oh.
Next question. Top Banana was originally published on the Amiga, the Atari ST, the Archimedes, or the Dragon 64.
At least it was environmentally safe on all his formats.
And the correct answer is the Acorn Archimedes.
Tricky. Bo, you wrote that one?
Yeah.
I can't believe it. All right, let's look at
That's
these
caught a lot of
scores,
people
shall
out.
we?
Who's riding high now? Jason Warnes.
Oh.
Wow. Canadians trading blows.
All right.
But you got Boss Man in second place. So.
All right. 3 more questions to go, everybody.
Okay. I had to look at this one up myself because I didn't understand how it worked. So, Aaron's karate rank. Is it 1st degree brown belt, 2nd degree brown belt, 3rd degree brown belt, or 4th degree brown belt?
I'm looking at the brown belt right now.
We all know boat is dangerous to know, but did you know that Aaron is as well?
Got that right. I'm way more dangerous. Boat
That's
needs
true.
a sword. I use my bare hands.
The correct answer is 3rd degree brown belt.
Yeah. Good for
Don't
6
know.
of you.
You don't know karate ranks. That's only like one belt below black belt.
Well,
That's
it's
right.
one
I
belt,
had no
but
idea.
it's 3 degrees. So it's they've cunningly
Tell
done
them
that.
that.
Oh, you better not screw around on this one, Boat.
What is Lionheart? Is it the lead character in the game of the same name? Is it a holy relic of the cat people? Is it the name of the dragon? Or is it Valdin's pet name? Tricky one, that one. Gotta know your Lionheart lore.
The double L.
Yes. Correct answer is a holy relic of the cat people.
That I actually had no idea before I looked it up. And
Wow.
apparently nobody else did either.
Real tricky, Boat. Real tricky. All right,
Separating
we got
the
one
men from the boys
question
there.
left, so let's see the scores. Look at
Frodo
Frodo
went
coming
out.
out of
Oh.
nowhere.
Got Frodo up there.
It's anybody's to play for here as we go into Final
Yeah.
Jeopardy. All right, we got one question left. Here we go.
Okay. The final question. How much money has AMIGATHON raised for the Children's Miracle Network Hospital since 2017? Is it $5,000, $9,000, $11,000, or $13,000? Of course, it'll be AMIGATHON again very soon.
Yes.
Oh,
All right,
correct answer for the win.
waiting,
Yes.
and here it is.
$11,000 for all the lovely children.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. Many, if not most of you in the chat right now have contributed to Amigathon over the years, and we appreciate it. The sick kids appreciate it.
Yes, they
And,
do. And here's the final tally, everyone. Look at that.
Oh,
Frodo NL.
Frodo NL.
Right up
Thumbs
there.
up. That was a close one, too.
Good job, sir.
Well done, everybody. Look at all these people, too. Very good. Dave. My God. Wild World of Retro. Our buddy Dave. Negative 38,000. What the hell happened out there, Dave?
Good job.
he's not sure what show he's even watching.
I'm
right
going to
now.
assume that he's got the parrot set beside the keyboard. It's just whacking the keyboard occasionally.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Pix, for hosting both our rounds of trivia this evening. This worked out better than I could have ever possibly imagined. So
Definitely so, yes.
It worked, which is more than I could have imagined.
Yes.
All right. And of course, Pixels at Dawn, if you don't know his face, you should. He streams frequently over at his channel, Pixels at Dawn Gaming. He's also the chairman of the Amigos Game Selection Committee. And he is what is your position over at Amiga Addict?
I think people just say one of the editors now.
One of the editors. He's one of the editors at Amiga Addict. He's one of the big dogs, as we say here in West by God. So
he's King Dog.
Yeah. He pretty much runs the show.
Thank you, Pix. We appreciate you, my friend.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me.
See you later.
Merry 300.
Thank you. All right, Aaron. Speaking of Amigathon, I think the time has come, my friend. The time has come for a very special announcement. And I think the best way to show it is through the visual arts. You want to play that next clip for us, Aaron?
Yes, sir, Bob.
All right, so I'd like to take this fine opportunity, episode 300, to officially announce the Amigathon 2021 charity marathon.
Yeah.
This is going to be number 5, Aaron. Big Amigathon number 5.
48 straight hours, right, Boat?
Well, what we're doing is we're taking the original 24-hour Amigathon and multiplying it by 5. So it's a full work week.
Oh, God.
No, we this year, of course, Amigathon 2020 was the most successful Amigathon yet, and we hope to make this one even more successful. In addition to me and Aaron sort of emceeing the event and playing a bunch of games, we're going to have some very special guests joining us. We'll have Ravi Abbott and Dan Wood. We'll be doing some segments together. We've got the one and only Kim Justice, who I'm sure will be putting together something very special. Of course, we couldn't do Amigathon without 10-minute Amiga Retrocast. He's going to be doing some stuff, maybe premiering a new video.
Beautiful.
Same for Control-Alt-Reese. Control-Alt-Reese, one of the fastest growing YouTube channels out there. He's really more of an ST guy, but that kind of makes it fun. He's going to be doing sort of an ST lover's take on the Amiga. So looking forward to that.
Too.
And of course, joining us yet again for year number 2, Amiga Bill, and I'm happy to announce this person's name was not on the poster because she just confirmed her attendance just this afternoon. The one and only Ash Says Hi. If you're not familiar with Ash Says Hi, she is a Twitch ambassador, which means that she is one of the biggest channels on Twitch. She is one of the people that Twitch frequently, show off in their marketing. She's a good personal friend of Amiga Bill, and she loves the Amiga. She loves the Amiga. Her dad was big into the Amiga, and she is carrying on the tradition. So she's also going to be joining us at Amigathon. It's going to be a good time. It is July 24th. 2021, so right at the end of July, perfect Amigathon time, and we're going to be running probably 12 hours, but that's not all, folks, because at the end of Amigathon, it's going to keep going. That's right, we're going to be passing the torch from the end of our broadcast to the start of somebody else's.
Yes, this is very exciting, Boat.
We are going to open up Amigathon to anybody on our Discord channel. We have one of the great privileges to be part of our Discord channel, from my perspective, is getting to see so many other great streamers. We've got so many great streamers on our Discord, and we are hoping for them to sort of we're going to pass the baton to them, and they can just keep Amigathon rolling all night long. And who knows when Amigathon 2021 will end. So we're going to have a sign-up sheet that's going to post up where you can sign up for times. We're going to line up those times, hopefully, to make them line up across the time zones, and make Amigathon truly a worldwide, world-spanning event this year.
You know what's fun about this, and Boat came up with this idea, I think it's just great. And it lets us extend Amigathon past 12 hours. But something else it does is it gives, like Boat said, we've got so many people that are part of our Discord that are great streamers in their own right. I mean, I'm not even going to get on the list because I don't want to forget anybody. But there's tons and tons of people in our Discord that stream. It'd be a great opportunity for you not only to raise some money for charity, but just to expose your particular style of streaming to a whole new audience that may not have ever came across your stuff before. So it's sort of a win-win boat. And you get that happy, warm feeling when you're raising money for those sick children. And, boy, every year I look forward to AMIGATHON. It's always a good time, Boat. And I think this year I've never been this excited about it, Boat. And finally, this will be the time where we get together one-on-one, live and in living color, and play some Amiga games and have a good time and see all the special participants. It's a great lineup this year, and I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. And again, if you're just now joining us on the show, I know we just got rated. We are going to be giving away one more $20 Retro Rewind gift certificate to a random member of the chat. So make sure you stick around. We're going to be doing that drawing towards the end of the show. But as for right now, Aaron, I think the time has come for our next video segment. What do you got?
Let's do another. Let's finish up our wacky highlights. Again, these are called from... the entire video library. I put together another 4 or 5 minutes of wackiness. So let's hit the button on this Boat. Prepare yourselves.
So I hear next week you're going to be doing some CD32 games on ARG Presents.
That's right. Yeah, that's what came up with the wheel, man. Crazy, eh?
Aren't you worried you're spreading it a little thin? This is where we do Amiga stuff.
Okay, Boat. Sorry, man. It'll never happen again. I'm taking it right off the wheel. I'm sorry about that, man. I'm sorry, man. I promise. I'll take it right off the wheel. I'm sorry. Going to Antique store tomorrow for a Christmas open house. We're going to some sort of Krampus parade.
Krampus, eh?
In Charleston.
I've heard of that, but explain what that is, because I'm not too sure.
I'm not real. It's, you ever seen the movie?
Is it like Chupacabra? Because in my mind, they're inexorably linked.
No. They have these big, weird parades.
It's like Chupacabra a little bit.
It's not the least bit like that.
I agree to disagree.
What's it had in common with Chupacabra?
Well, it's like the names sound similar, and I thought that maybe it was the European version of Chupacabra.
What part of Krampus sounds like Chupacabra? Nothing. Nothing.
I don't know. I don't know why.
You've got ear dyslexia.
Does it start with a K or a C?
A K.
That's another strike.
Yeah, you're really blowing this one. Are you wearing a Mac shirt?
That's right.
I am appalled by that.
I wore this shirt to appall and enrage you.
I can't believe it. I'm appalled and enraged at that shirt.
My brother got this for me at Apple HQ in Cupertino.
God.
It's the only place where you can buy such apparel.
It's the only place you can pay $70 for a shirt.
Hey,
the good thing about being me is I can listen to our show and it feels new.
Right.
Because I can't remember what the hell happened.
Well, that's sort of the thinking behind the Boat challenge. Was like,
I want to hear this.
Is that, I've got all these books and I claim them to be my favorite books, but I've only read them once. Who knows if I read them a second time while I like it as much. I guess we'll kick things off with a little bit of Dogfish Head Sea Quench Ale, the best beer.
That sounds god awful.
It does.
Dogfish
Head.
Oh God.
I mean,
roly-poly fish heads.
You're not a big fan of fish, right?
I don't like fish now. I don't have a personal problem with fish.
You just don't enjoy consuming.
Maybe
sea life.
I love fish so much that I won't eat them.
You're a fishophiliac.
I don't want to go that far.
We have
Brutal Presents.
Yeah, nice looking package here. They're good people in New Zealand. And we get newspaper to look at too.
Oh, boy.
I remember how much fun that was from. Now this is going to be probably.
I honestly have no idea what this is.
Look at this. Look at this. This is the leader.
The leader is good. The leader is great.
The Tasman edition. And they've got a girl. This is great. This is, I'm going to read you this.
What is happening in this picture?
Michaela Isherwood watches her sister Stella Isherwood compete in the Merman Limited Junior Possum Throw.
That's what I thought she was doing.
She is throwing a possum. Look at that. I'm holding it up for all of our
New Zealand
YouTube
sounds a lot
watchers.
like West Virginia.
It does. It does. We'd be right at home there.
That's if you're throwing a possum, by the way.
I've never been in close contact with a possum. I see them deceased on the side of the road, but that's about it.
All right.
So this is from O'Brien's Retro and Vintage.
Have you ever seen what it looks like at O'Brien's?
It must be just a hall of wonderment.
In my mind, it's just beautiful. Like it's on the top of a mountain, you know. And
In my mind, it's a little bit Irish too because it's O'Brien's, and so it's got shamrocks and stuff.
I'm not buying that now.
So up until this point, we've been
Can't see these. Go ahead, I'm listening.
we've been hampered by the length of my USB 3 cord.
Is that what it? That's
Yeah.
what's been hampered
And
us.
so
Not our lack of talent or bad look.
that's the only thing, the USB 3 cord.
I look like a booze hound now here.
Duncan, I can't believe you're left off the list again. I don't know how that happens.
Duncan, what? You sure?
Do I have you in the...
Duncan, do you sure you want to be in that song?
Did that happen last week? I've got you in the master
You know what
list.
that means, don't you? We're still recording.
Yeah.
Get the guitar.
All right.
Play him a solo.
All right.
Here, put this on.
Duncan, this is for you.
And you can't just say Duncan and hit a chord either. You got to really
Nope.
stretch it out. Like it's sort of.
Man, this thing is
Oh, it
always
doesn't
out of
matter.
tune,
That doesn't
too.
matter. Duncan don't care. Get it done, son.
It's always the G
Like
string.
it matters. Oh yeah. Oh, the G string. I like it.
Duncan Styles. 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 Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
Now that's pretty good right there, I think.
So Duncan, that makes.
That
I hope that makes up for it.
That moved me a little, Bo.
I'm glad.
You know. I'm ready. Let's go for it.
Okay.
Go give it some time.
All right. Hi everybody, welcome to Amigos. I'm John,
And I'm Aaron.
and today we're going to talk about hired guns.
No. Stop this.
Did you really do Soccer Kid?
Yeah. I thought Soccer Kid
We
was
said
this
we
week.
said at the end of the show last week that we were. Oh man, we're in trouble. I mean, we're really not.
I did Soccer Kids. I thought Soccer Kid was this week. I thought Hired Guns was next week.
You didn't play any hired guns?
No, I played Soccer Kid.
All right. Well.
What?
All right.
Do you remember that night? That was,
Oh yeah.
we sucked, boat.
Yeah.
My
yeah.
God, horrible.
Well, you know, in 300 episodes in 5 years, you're bound to have, you know, just a couple mistakes.
Just a
one
couple
or two.
of them.
One or two.
Very
Now-
good, boat.
Now, David Z did suggest that we create a video based on your expressions while listening to Patreon songs, and lo and behold, that's what you've done, Aaron.
Well, you know, I had an epiphany last night, boat. As
I am a
as
great singer.
I
Yes,
was
I
leaning,
know.
I was leaning over a trash can, and I was being sick, and I thought to myself, what has brought me to this new low? And it occurred to me, it's all the editing I did on this next piece of video. This is what took me down, Bode. And so, please, if you have small children or have sensitive ears, please walk away, because what you're about to hear will cause you great pain. Great pain. I like to call this the Boat Music Medley. I apologize.
All right. So we come to this week's Patreon song challenge.
I hope this song's more upbeat than that one, and peppy.
You don't like you don't.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
It looks like it sounds like you're slowly melting. It's the reason I mentioned that. Because if we're gonna go do a love ballad, I'm gonna go out for a pizza. What is that? Horrible.
That's how I warm up.
Dan Ross, Leaf Kellon, Alan Kebab, Donald Tyler, Levlord, John Marshall, Matthew Perron, Ricky DeRoche, Creepy Dead Boy, Will Williams, Daniel Bankston, Zach Zimmerman, Brian's Retro Vintage, Chad Holstead, and Brent Dowdy.
What are we gonna do next week, Aaron?
I'm gonna deafen myself before I come back. That's for damn sure.
Josh Nan, Will Williams, Adam Bradley, Neil Mansell, Jonas Rulo, THG.
I did give it away, didn't I? Oh.
Alan Kebab, David McCray. Tips from the Crypt, Adam Bradley, Chris Folds, Daniel Paxton, O'Brien's Retro Adventure, Chad Halstead, Britt Downey, and Brutal Barracuda.
That was a long way to go for that gag, wasn't it?
Daniel Williams, Bernard Lucas, Jerry Dennington, Zorg Love, Iron Wolf, Jorg Ben Goodness, Terry Howard, Reflection, Simon Letch, Kevin Crispy, Kilobytes and Caffeine, Mike W, Decker, 3 Gary, Heather Free, Lunch Gate, Fox, David Pickford, Cameron, Armstrong, Andrew Jones, Lobsterminator,
Andy Craig, Shanzo, Darren Lowe, Max Collin, 419, Bobby Rolling Book.
I think I got it, but it wasn't worth getting it.
Well, I only switched keys about 6 times.
I like Steve's comment there. Just tuned in, coworker is like, what WTF is that? Apologize to your coworker, Steve.
Paul Harrington, Duncan Styles, Alan Kebab, Anthony Jarvis, James from the Crypt, Josh Lang, Will Williams, Adam Bradley.
Dan Williams. Boy, this is going to be tricky. I'm rethinking my pick now. I'm going to sing it to the tune of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
You're going to sing it to the tune of Goodbye Listeners.
Rob O'Hara, Paul Harrington, Lawrence Wood, Logan.
I got no idea what that was.
Well,
can you sing a funeral dirge?
Grand Vepke, Brent, Eddie Lendinson, Adam Battersby, O'Brien's Retro and Vintage, Gary Huckasey, Brian Jones, Paul Harrington, Doug Stiles, Anthony Jarvis, Lauren Giroux, Loggins, Jonas Rouleau, Kilburn Barm and Tapes from the Cribs. Oh, Adam Bradley, Chris Folds, Ravi Abba, Chris Folds, Dreamcatcher, Lauren Giroux, Graham W. Vebke, Lane Denson, Adam Battersby, O'Brien's Retro and Vintage, Gary Huckasey, Brian Jones, Paul Harrington, Doug Sauls.
Man, that was just... That was low down.
That's
bad.
how I break it down.
That you broke it down. You broke
Yeah.
me down
Yeah.
mentally.
Yeah.
Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Time to take it home. Gary Huckasey, Brian Jones, Paul Bossman Harrington, Duncan Styles, Tapes from the Crypt, Josh Nan, Adam Bradley, Jonas Rouleau, Lobsterminator, Craig McClellanton, Mid-Amiga Retrocast, Josh Nan, Adam Bradley, Jonas Rulo, THT, Eric Nelson, Kim Tommy Humbert, Stad, Daniel Bingston, Brutal Barracuda, Jaron Coles, Jason Warnes, Pixels of Dawn, and Kjolbjorn Barman.
Oh my God. I saw someone said they got it. You know, getting that, it's like getting audio hepatitis. That's what that is.
There you go, Boat.
Well,
That was
harrowing. Oh my
you
gosh.
suck, Boat. You're horrible. Oh man. Oh, I hate to laugh at my own gag, but damn.
Oh, well,
Stuff right there.
I'd like to think that I've come a long way.
No. Oh yeah. Yeah, getting an extra bunch of guys to help you.
Yeah.
Good
Just
move.
stepping away from the mic is probably a good move.
Yeah. Jeez.
So, speaking of all those fine folks on the Patreon list, we invited our listeners to share some Amigos memory, or not really Amigos memories, but just sort of like what Amigos means to them. And
God.
I thought that I'd read a couple of those right now. So we start with let's see, these are still the Monkey Island 2 reviews. I've scrolled up too far.
I would stick with those. This could get I'm afraid to hear these. What Amigos means to me. That sounds like the setup for something real bad.
It's like a paper you had to write in school. Anthony Jarvis writes, I'm pretty sure I started listening within the first few months of Amigos starting. I quickly caught up. You were part of 2 journeys into work when we did that. Walks in the park or cooking. You guys just became part of my listening life, and the fact that you have made it to 300 is a testament to your commitment to not just the show, but your nurturing of this very community. Well done, John, Aaron, and the Brent. Proof, if proof were needed, that we don't have to agree to be part of the same thing. Awesome work, boys.
That was nice.
Yeah. Lobsterminator says, you suck. I hope you die. No,
I knew it.
He says, I wish I could remember when I started listening to the Amigos podcast. It was really early on, purely by luck. I'd found Sprite Castle sometime earlier, and I think Rob plugged your podcast possibly around the time he was interviewed, which was episode 8. It took me several years after that to become a Patreon and join the community. One of the best decisions I've made in a long time. Disregarding my actual close and real life friends, the Amigos community is by far my favorite group of people to hang out with, so far only virtually. 300 episodes is a great achievement, but building such a nice community might be an even bigger achievement. Here's to a bright future and many years of podcasting to come. Thank you, Lobsterminator. Hopefully we'll get to meet up sometime, maybe Boat Fest.
Thank you.
Lord Soup writes, I'm a relative newcomer. I enjoy RMC Retro, or just RMC as it was, and was binging on Neil's videos. I think he'd just gone pro, and there was an ep where Neil was chatting to an American Amiga enthusiast. Something I could imagine, but didn't have any experience with. Yeah, most people only imagine that they were American Amiga enthusiasts.
We run the show with one of those guys.
Yeah, said enthusiast was John Boat of Carshaller. It was a superb interview, and I thought to myself, I must learn more of this rum fellow. Q days of binging on Amigos retro gaming podcasts and finding that not only was my beloved Amiga celebrated, but these gentlemen of particularly fine taste also had a soft spot for the Specky. Q watching of many podcasts, popping my $4 a month in, and here we are now. ARG and RMC are IMO, the best retro podcasts on the web that I know of. Double winner being this community here consisting of many a great guy and gal. Awesome stuff. Happy 300th.
Wow. That was from Soup. Thank you, Soup.
That was Soup, yeah. So we'll read a couple more of these a little bit later on down the road.
Those are great. I thought they were going to bury us, Boat.
Yeah. So, it's funny. We started the show, of course, started in 2015. Do you remember the name of our first video show, Aaron? Do you remember what game we played?
I think it was, it came from the desert, Boat.
That's right. That's right. It was episode, I think, 47, 46. It was May 14th, 2016.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Now, January 2017 was an auspicious occasion. This is when Chris Folds proposed that we form a Slack channel. If you recall, we had Patreon people, but we didn't really have any contact with them. What we did have was anytime somebody would email us, I would save their email, and whenever we would make show announcements, I would email those people, and then they would respond with ideas and things. And those are the people that became our brain trust. So this is back when the show was much smaller, and we still celebrate those people today on the Discord. So he proposed that we have a Slack channel, and that was so much fun that we of course have moved on to Discord. And he also he also helped us move over to everythingamiga.com. So we appreciate Chris for providing that URL for us, and of course Jason Warren's negotiating the movement from the blogger site over to everythingamiga.com. Chris and Jason are our technical wizards. We couldn't do anything without those guys.
You know, it's those guys, both those guys. Chris in particular has been around with us for, I mean, just like forever, like the trivia question. And it's great to have known fine fellows like that for such a long time. And yeah, it is funny how much who knew that suggestion about Slacker would pay off, because the community has really made the show 50 million times more fun for us, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, speaking of the community, July 13th, 2017, Aaron, that was Amigathon 1. Amigathon 1 was way back, 2017. And of course, Dreamcatcher was the inspiration behind that. He decided that he was going to do a writing project that spanned the course of a week, and we were just sort of tagging along. You know, we said, well, we'll do this gaming marathon to sort of coincide with you, and that was the only one that we've done for Make-A-Wish UK. It's a great charity, but the way that Extra Life is set up with Children's Miracle Network, they really have the back end that makes it happen. So we've shifted over to Children's Miracle Network since then, but we'll always remember that first Amigathon.
Dreamcatcher, just to give him some love. Gosh, he was around forever, and a great guy, super duper talented, wrote a ton of great stories over the years, and supported us for a long time. And check his channel out on YouTube sometimes. He's a real good guy. He's a very unique fellow for sure, Boat.
Now, Aaron, do you remember July 17th, 2017?
I don't remember yesterday. So what? No, are you kidding me? I have no idea.
This was a very important day in your life, because this was the day that all of the arcade machines were moved into Amigo Studios East.
I do remember.
It's a shame. It's a shame we don't have that video queued up to play.
Listen, if you're gonna play one, you play the Amiga cutting the stump out of the ground with the buzzsaw. Yeah. Why was that important? Because of the studio that was in the arcade.
Well, it's part of our network is Amigo Studios East.
That's true. Valid point.
Yeah. Now, of course, even more important than that was when we moved from in front of the horrible green screen to in front of the horrible TV. This was episode 109, Neuromancer, Aaron. That was the first episode when I drug everything. Basically, I destroyed my basement and turned it into a gaming paradise into a podcast studio of somewhat ill repute. And we started filming for some unknown reason in front of the entertainment center. It was a bad move.
Yeah, I knew right away that was horrible, because you could see both our guts and our nethers. And I thought to myself, no one's tuning in to see this. I mean, if they're tuning in at all, they're barely holding on. This is going to push them over the edge. So, yeah, that sucked. I didn't like that.
That didn't last long. It lasted from August to January. January 2018.
That's a pretty long time.
That's true. It lasted like 6 months. We decided to move the studio once again, so we had the arcade machine in the background, which you saw in some of those clips. The first episode of that was the infamous One Step Beyond episode, where I read the tale of Colin Curley and the Quavers.
Yeah.
And this was the first time it actually dawned on me that instead of using my cheap laptop, I should use my monster computer that I was producing the show on anyway.
Yes.
With.
Yeah.
So now, January 2018 is when Discord started. That's when the arrival of Discord was, and of course that changed everything when we started the Discord. In February of 2018, you want to take a stab at what happened then?
I don't have any idea.
February 2018 is when ARG Presents debuted. Episode 1, ARG Presents, the Atari 1200 XL. And of course, it wasn't but just a couple months later, May 29th, 2018, the Brent took the reins of being the host of the ARG Presents show.
You know, let me ask you, because I didn't expect you to bring that up, but why did you, I don't remember even, why did you leave that show, but were you burnt out?
It was the thumbnails.
No, what was it for real?
When you were making
those fancy thumbnails and coming up with those wacky titles.
part of the problem, seriously, was the fact that I was putting way too much production in stuff that was ultimately pointless. I would sit around and think about like show names like Lady Smurf Blue Mambazo that only I thought was funny.
What I like is your clever names. No one could have figured those out in a million years as to what the show was about. That was the problem. But otherwise, they were quite funny. I went back and looked at all those. And they were amusing.
Yeah, but I was spending too much time on it. And then the other thing was that the way we were doing the show, I picked a bunch of games that I honestly didn't care that much about, because remember how we used to do it back in the day
with the envelopes?
When we'd spin the wheel, but we'd already have picked the games from each of the games on the wheel.
Yeah.
And when we were doing those, I just blindly chose stuff because I was trying to fill all the picks. And so I ended up playing a big string of games that I really just didn't like.
Yeah.
And so that was, and I believe that this was after, our Sinclair. No, our Sinclair. Yeah, no, I take it back. Our Sinclair hadn't started. But really, I think it was really the thumbnails, honestly. It was putting too much effort into the stuff like that, which was dumb. But
I will say the way me and Brent do it now, without the envelopes, it's much, much harder than it was back then, because at least then you had an idea what you were picking. Now we have no idea, so. but yeah, you're right. You're also looped into those. You don't have time to change your pick, so that's a bad thing.
Exactly. I mean, think about all the times when you think you know what you're going to play at the beginning of the week, and then you're like, "This is garbage," and then you switch. So
listen, I found, and when I was looking through these videos, I found a segment where I'm pitching the idea for ARG, and I wanted to have triple wheels with numbers and letters, and you'd be spinning through. I don't know what God's name I was thinking. To do that, so yeah, the envelopes were a bad idea, but hey, we gave it a whirl.
It all worked out well because I much prefer Brent as a host of ARG Presents than myself. I think that Brent is just he has more gaming experience than I do. He's played a bunch of stuff that I never have. To be honest with you, I mean, I'm not much of a video game guy. I mean, it's weird saying that, but compared to people like you and Brent, I'm a small fish in a large pond compared to you guys. So it's definitely better chemistry, and it's also the show. It's a highlight of my week. Every Monday morning I listen on my way to work. So
thank you,
big ups to you and the Brent.
Thank you.
Now,
thank you.
Moving forward through time, Aaron, we managed to almost triple the amount of money we made in 1 year. The July 7th, 2018 Amigathon 2, $2,700 for Children's Miracle Network hospitals.
It was that you? What year did you say that was?
That was the brutal year.
We earned that money because that was brutal. That was a brutal. You talking about almost ending the show. If you'd have asked us in hour 23, do you want to do the next week's Amigas? We'd have both said no. God no. We weren't prepared, Bo, for that.
Right. And then we finally in November moved to our third and final studio location in front of the brick wall.
Yeah.
So that was great. January 2019, Aaron, Amiga Ireland, the first trip. That's when I finally got to put faces to all of the names that are on the Discord. Amazing trip. Such a good time. I really appreciate all the fine folks that helped financially support my trip out there, including lots of people that are in the chat right now. Thank you guys so much. It was an amazing trip. I still look back to that first year with great memories. Now, March, we're going to kind of zoom through some of these. Our Sinclair and the Coco Show debuted in March and October, so we introduced some new shows to the channel. Amigathon 3 raised $3,300, so we continue to raise even more money. And then in February 2020, 1200 XL came on the scene, so we started that up.
You started that up.
And then in May 21st, 2020, everything got canned. That was when I thought I was moving in a new direction career-wise. We canceled all of the non-Amigos, non-ARG shows, and that was the end of that. But in July, Amigathon 4 raised $5,300.
Yeah, that was a real stunner, wasn't it, Bo?
Yeah. And of course, in January 2021, amidst the pandemic madness, all the other shows came back. We're one big happy family again with the 5 shows on the network, plus Pixel Guide plus the Sprite Castle show. Everything's golden. Everything's golden is a key capstone moment. The last thing on the calendar, April 2nd, 2021, 4,000 subscribers on
man.
YouTube.
If I may fill in a gap here, Bode.
Yeah, man.
And I'm this is a segue, Bo. This is where I do it. Your second trip to Ireland, you hadn't been back that long from that trip, and that's when we had the epic throwdown. I think it was about 2 weeks after you got back. It was during the episode of Naughty Ones, I believe, is when it went down. And I dug this footage up. I told some people, I said, listen, I'm going to play this footage. This is a pretty good time to stick it in, Bo. What do you think?
Yeah, let's
this
do it.
is the... I do not have any surviving footage of the actual fight that we had, but I do have the makeup video. That's what I've got right here. So I'm going to throw it up, Bo. You ready?
Okay.
Here we
throw
go.
it up,
This is,
man.
by the way, highly condensed. Here you go.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to I Hate My Co-Host. I'm John. No.
I'm Aaron.
So, this is what happened. Last week, I made a crack that inferred that Aaron did not play last week's game on our Sinclair, the Carrier Command game. Okay? Not true. False. So I heard, did you play the game? And I thought Aaron was trying to work an angle on me where he was gonna come after me for not playing the game, which of course I did play Naughty once. It's awesome. So anyway, when we stopped the show, Aaron actually forgot that we were still streaming, and we had a little discussion about our differences. And but the good news is that everything is cool. We've sit here and talked for another hour after we wrapped our Sinclair.
We should have filmed that for insert this too.
Yeah.
The makeup.
Yeah.
At the end, we had a big old smooch and everything.
That's right.
There's no throwdown. There was no beat down. In fact, we ran through Sinclair and had some fun on that. I mean, there was. We have a little spat now and again, but it doesn't matter. So but I got a message from a couple people who were worried or concerned. But listen, there is no need. This is not an angle. It's not a gimmick. Everything's good to go. We just, that happens sometimes. You should see the crap that me and Brent go through. You think we literally have a throwdown, but we never would film it. Although I have a couple of those on tape somewhere where he's pissed me off or vice versa. Brent he takes no crap. Boat will take a tremendous amount of crap, and I'll take some crap now and again. The bottom line is it's all good. In fact, I'll leave it to Boat to have a throwdown with me, and then 5 minutes later, go over a long list of his various podcast ideas.
That's how close we are to breaking up, folks.
Yeah, he won't let me leave, even if I wanted to. He's holding on to me like grim death. I didn't want people to get upset, or think that the Amigos are suddenly are behind the scenes where it's some kind of Lockhorns action. We hang out. Bo just came over and watched Picard with me last week. We hang out.
We're not Simon and Garfunkel. We're really friends in real life.
We're really sort of two Garfunkels.
Yeah, except without the hair. We're like the
we're a Garfunkel now.
That's true.
Have you seen him recently? Yeah. He's Bald Funkle. That's what he is, man. I think they'll buy it, Bo.
I think they'll buy it.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Oh.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Adios.
There you go. How long has it been since you watched that, Boat?
Oh, I forgot that existed, to tell you the truth. It's funny. I remember the fight. This was a really low point for me personally in the arc of the show, because I just come back from Amiga Ireland 2020. And although it was great, I got to meet Chris Folds, and that was awesome. There were some good times at Amiga Ireland 2020, but on the whole, it wasn't as good because of a bunch of different reasons, some related to the event itself and some completely unrelated, like the fact that I was I was staying above Eurodance trash party time all the time in the hotel. So but anyway, all of those things were mounting, plus the fact that I was drinking incredibly heavily during all of these episodes. The episode before this was Hook. And this was Naughty Ones, and it was a recipe for disaster. And so it was only a matter of time when something like that would happen. It's unfortunate in a way that it was filmed, but in a way
it wasn't filmed, actually. So you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
The
funny
thing
it was
is,
streamed, but then quickly erased. So unless you were there, it will never be seen.
That seems like 10 million years ago.
Right.
And it's funny because this was right before the pandemic when it went south in a
Mhm.
big way, you know. And actually, I mean, I can't even, like I said, we've never ever really hardly had any problems, and not since then we had any problems either.
Yeah.
In fact, we're happier. I can tell you, I'm happiest I've been in a long time.
Me too.
So not just with
Me
the
too.
show, but just in general. So yeah.
Yeah.
And as it comes for the boozery, there's plenty of that going around. That's for darn sure.
Yeah. So, anyway, why don't we go ahead and read another couple stories from our Patreon folks, our Discord. I keep saying Patreon people. It's our Discord community, which most of them are Patreon folks. But we've got Jason Warnes. He says, I fell into the Amigos podcast purely by accident in 2016 and was hooked immediately. From an internet that demands perfection from its online personalities, I found John, Aaron, and Brent's genuine nature to be intoxicatingly refreshing. Through strength of friendship and family, they're fearless to be themselves, showing warts and all, creating a wonderfully inviting show. The community that surrounds them is an extension of this, attracting kindred spirits from all over the world. It truly answers the question, what would it be like if the internet was a nice place? I consider myself privileged to be part of such an amazing community and look forward to the future, the friendship, and when John gets his internet fixed. Me too, Jason.
Yeah,
Congratulations on hitting the 300 show milestone. Bravo. Here's to at least 300 more.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
Yes.
And now we go to BarkBit. BarkBit says, being 40 plus years old. I don't know what that's like. Sorry, BarkBit. I'm still young.
I'm holding
and
on
not
to that.
having any gaming interested friends. Finding the Amigos and the community that follow them has been a true blessing. I still dread the army of internet trolls to arrive, but I guess the pure awesomeness of the show and crew keep them at bay. Keep the light of remote friendship shining. Happy 300th, guys. Now, if we could all just get together for Boat Fest. Heck freaking yeah, man. Mitsuyama writes, congratulations on reaching 300 episodes. A tremendous achievement. Here's to at least 300 more. Now,
Very
Aaron,
good, thank you.
A second ago, you were talking about some boozery going on.
Yes, sir.
And you told me that you have quite the clip to show us. I have not seen this. You have told me about this over the phone when I called you the other day. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what this is because I don't remember really getting that boozed up over the course of the show.
I don't want this to turn into bury the boat. But these clips are all involve you being wacky. Now this, you know, people, as I went through and culled together all this footage, I noticed that me and the boat would imbibe a lot back in the day. And of course I had to drive home, but Boat didn't. So
Nope.
Boat would go to work. So I've got two.
I didn't even have to leave the room. I just pass out in the chair, Edmund style.
I've got two clips here. One of which is just from an episode, and then one of which is from the Lost episode. Now, I've been telling people for years, I had a heck of a time finding this boat. I've been telling people for years that the Lost episode was the Christmas episode, right around 100 or so. Well, it's not. It was actually our 100th anniversary show. Whoops. So we had to refilm the 100th anniversary show. So I do have a sampling of that as well. So please, if you'll indulge me, enjoy these two quick clips.
I really thought that, like, okay, for example, okay, you got Rufio. Remember that classic scene where he grabs the hook from Dustin Hoffman?
Yeah.
And he says the immortal words, looky, looky, I've got hooky.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I used to say that every day when I was growing up. And
Those are immortal words.
I would play hook with my brother.
Real.
Okay? And, like, he would pretend like he had a hook, and I would take his finger and twist it off.
Yeah.
And then I would say, looky, looky, I've got hooky.
You really do this?
And then I would crow, because Peter Pan knows how to crow. Do you know how to crow?
I don't.
Very good. Yeah.
You surely, this isn't real. You didn't actually play this game at your house.
No, I never played this game.
Okay, thank God.
But,
I'm
I mean,
talking about
I would
with the
have
actual pretending to be hooked.
Yeah, yeah.
You had a childhood that was beautiful and innocent.
It was.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 100 of the Amigos. I'm John.
And I'm Aaron.
I'm Brent.
And I'm John Marshall.
And we are here in Amigo Studios for the last time. Wait a minute, that's not true. We're
What?
here in Amigo Studios yet again. People are attracted to dystopian futures.
It's weird, isn't it?
I'm sure you've read Neuromancer before, right?
I love that book. I do. In fact, I want to cover that game eventually because I really love that game.
So, I mean, people like the idea of like a future where, technology runs rampant and you are able to like control your body with different, electronic upgrades. And I think that
what? I'm listening. I like
both of you are thinking, boy, he's trying to solve his mind. I can't wait what he says next.
You were really rolling there.
I think that the audience really likes Syndicate because it's a precursor to. I can't get over. I can feel what you're thinking.
I'm not even saying nothing. It is a precursor to something.
So this is definitely like a precursor to Deus Ex, which the whole game is like, upgrading it. This game doesn't really have like an upgrade tree like Deus Ex has, but you can definitely see where they got those ideas. One of the things that I really like about this game is that whenever you're let off, into a world, because you have that like 3/4 isometric viewpoint, you can see the whole city. One of the things that I think the worst thing about this game, what would you say the worst thing about the Syndicate is? Other than that, this game is pretty much perfect. If you could see inside the buildings, really, until you get to the point, because if you look at like Grand Theft Auto, the first 2 Grand Theft Autos were built on the same engine. Mm-hmm. It's that isometric. I think Grand Theft Auto is top down, but it's pretty much the same thing. Until you got to where technology had improved to the point where you could get to that like third person over the shoulder view. This is really the best simulator of like if you want to just go out and wreak mayhem in society. This is the best place to do it.
That was like watching you walk a verbal tightrope.
Oh wow,
you know
really? Because if there's no net, John's dead.
He was really going to work there.
To be honest with you, I think that if you were a fan of Gauntlet, this was like your natural next place to go. But if you were not a fan of Gauntlet, I don't know why anything would. You're gonna have to take over, Aaron.
Well, I think what Bo's trying to say is he really loves Graham right now. He loves him.
Yeah, I have no memory of that. Although that set was that set probably won several awards.
Yeah,
in terms of the decoration we put together there.
I remember. I kept looking at Brent like we knew we had to take this thing to the house. And then speaking of taking it to the house, I got home and you called me and you were like sick as a dog. I was like, yeah.
I do remember calling you just laying on the floor being like, oh.
Yeah.
So.
That was great though. And yet we made it 200 more episodes.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of footage that didn't make a cut of me acting like an idiot, staggering around, I'm sure. So there you go. Boat. One thing I like about you is you'll laugh at yourself and keep going.
From the Amigo Aaron weight loss challenge, the weight loss wager made it in.
If they're for one thing, it's really hard to make those funny, Boat.
Well, no. What I'm not saying that they were funny, but we didn't mention that, and that was a huge deal before one of the Amigathons one year. I can't remember which one it was.
Let me tell you something. If there was an Amigo Aaron weight gain challenge, we would pay off every charity, my friend, because I'm gonna have to get back into it. Yeah, that was something. We made some money off that, and it was nice that people supported me. I did okay for the amount of time I had. I think I lost about 53 pounds. It was brutal, and then I gained it back relatively quickly. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes.
Just some of the other ideas. It looks like Lobsterminator wants us to do a presentation on Friend OS. So get ready for that. Speaking of good memories from Amiga Ireland, Retro Jerry suggested Boat and Aaron's favorite cocktails made for each other during the show. We saw some of those in the clips
I know my
earlier.
least favorite. I'll tell you that right now.
Flack said a discussion and montage of how Amigo Studios has changed throughout the years. So there we go. That wish came true.
We covered more of these than I thought, Boat.
Yeah. And Rolly Rolo, he says a live discussion segment traversing the locations oft mentioned in the show, like the Speedway. We didn't hit the Speedway, but we'll go there next time.
Yeah.
And places likely pivotal on the itinerary of Boatfest 2022. So bam, dreams do come true.
See, if we had read these real thoroughly ahead of time, we could have said, "Listen, we checked off all your desires. We dropped the ball. Time for an edit, Boat."
That's right. That's right. So this is the brand new debut of the newest Patreon song from the Patreon band.
Don't worry, Boat doesn't sing. You're okay.
If you know, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself because I need to announce last week's song winner. So give me just a second to pull that up. Last week's song was the Mazzy Star one-hit wonder, Fade Into You.
That one hurt me, but I like that song.
You know, I was never a huge fan of that song, but Mazzy Star, like watching her sing, it was like every girl that I was into in high school, like wrapped up into one. I mean, just so incredibly attractive.
Yeah.
We want to congratulate Paul Marfleet, R. Typer, Eric Nelson, and Bernard Lucas. Thank you guys so much for your winning suggestions. You guys are awesome. And if you know this week's Patreon song, you can send me an email at john@amigospodcast.com, and I will announce you as a winner on next week's show.
Ready?
Yep, let's do it, man.
Matt Yates, Alistair Fiend, George Rosansky, David C. The Amiga Show. Daniel Crabtree, Super Family King, Kristen Russo, Crazy Loomis, William Vincent Scott. Heavy Systems Inc., Bundy, Fraglot, Mark Balandola, Polpansky, Ellen Reader, Dave Velociraptor, Cowboy Jonah, A.K. Simler. Lane Danson, Luke Hudson, from the bass, John Kirk, Frodo, and Nelson Sizer. Tim H. Jurgen, Mr. Cola, Daniel Williams, Bernard Lucas, Zogler, Jerry Dennington, Reflection, Simon Lynch, Captain Crispy, Killer Bites and Caffeine, Gary Heather, Free Lunch, Kate Fox, David Pickford, Cameron Armstrong, Andy Joe, Flash Terminator, 10-minute Amiga Retrocast, Tim Drew, Simon Rose, RNC, Bernard Quinn, Carletta, Joseph Harrison, Rob O'Hara, Sean of Matthew, Larry Moore, Andy Craig, Barbette, Roland Buck, Andrew Monk, Alan Kebab, Dave Kalam, Joe the Zombie, John Marshall, Chakotay, Matthew Perron, Rebel Lord, Vicky DeRocha, Biggie Creepy, Dead Boy, Stephen Sorger, Mortensen, The Slow Norris, Evan Helen, Christopher Hassel, Blendo, 75, Rick Moose, Brad P. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, Lauren Giroux, Graham Becky, Adam Battersby, Gary Hurker, Paul Harrington, Duncan Styles, old brands, retro vintage, tapes from the crypt, Josh Nan, Adam Bradley, Jonas Rouleau, Josh Nan, THT Eric Nelson, Amigo, 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 Amigo,
Beautiful,
All
man.
right. Yeah,
I loved it.
Of course, I wanna thank all of the members of all the Patreon bands.
Yes.
You
God
you
bless
just
you,
saw
people.
Paul Bossman Harrington on drums, from originally from Northern Ireland, now of Norwegian extraction. The one, the only Figgy CTZ on the keys, holding it down. He plays synth. He plays piano. He does it all, man. He does
Triple
it all.
threat.
Yeah. Of course, I was playing the bass, and Pix on the vocals, giving everybody's ears a break whenever Pix takes the microphone. And of course, we have our other Patreon group that just started up a couple weeks ago, with the one and only living legend Graham WVebke from
Yes.
Australia on the drums,
Another
and
one of
Lob
our
Terminator
long supporters.
filling in a Stevie Wonder-like role where he's playing a multitude of instruments, including the steel drums, the guitar, and lots of other things. So we got lots of things in the works coming from both groups, and I'm sure there's going to be some crossover going on too, with these guys. So I really want to thank those guys. It's a lot of fun. You know, I love playing music. It's what I do for a living, and being able to do it in this sort of virtual environment, especially during the pandemic, it's great. It's like being in a band again, and it's so much fun. And I really appreciate all the guys for it, because I'm definitely the man out in terms of talent. So I appreciate everybody sort of stooping to my level.
Listen, first of all, I love the idea that you've gathered together two bands and we're buddies. It's great. I just think it's the best. How you guys do that, I'll never know, but it's outstanding. And you're underselling yourself, because you're the one, getting this stuff together with these boys. It's outstanding. And it's been a welcome addition to the shows. I think everyone's enjoyed the various bands, wacky antics. So that's outstanding. Very good stuff.
Yeah. All right. Now, we should probably announce next week's game. So next week we're going to be right back at it, episode 301. We're going to be. Oh, I forgot one important thing. I want to wish a very happy birthday to Paul, aka Hermsky. He turned the big 5-0 this year, Aaron.
The text game master.
Yeah, the text game master. We're going to be back with a look at one of his videos on next week's community section. And next week we're going to be playing, Aaron, Switchblade. Have you heard of Switchblade before?
I don't know, but it didn't jump to mind. I'll be honest.
I haven't played this one either. This was picked by, of course, the Amigos French Canadian contingent, Laurent Giroux.
We love Laurent as well.
We do. So make sure you check that out. Of course, if you're just joining us for the first time, we record the show live every Friday around 5 o'clock Eastern time. And we'd love to have you with us. We love having people in the chat. And there are other things that we do. Again, if you are just watching this for the first time, we do multiple shows. ARG Presents is a show that runs every Sunday morning on Twitch with Amigo Aaron and the Brent, where they play two games around a special theme. It could be a system or a different theme. This week, you're doing games with animals as the main character, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so make sure you check that out on Sunday mornings at 10. We also do some monthly shows. We do a show called Our Sinclair that's all about the ZX Spectrum. We do a show about the Tandy TRS-80 color computer, the Coco. It's called the Coco Show. And of course, we do a show about the Atari 8-bit computers called 1200 XL. You can check out all of those on YouTube. In fact, if you just go bit.ly/ the name of the show, those will all pop up. So bit.ly/Our Sinclair, bit.ly/1200 XL. The YouTube playlists all pop up there. Check them out. There, it's good stuff. If you like listening to people talk about old computer games, you've come to the right place. We have a few more stories to read before it's time to go.
I need that.
We're not going to get this again. Not for another 300 episodes. David Z writes, still a bit of a newbie around here. Starting watching the videos and such a little over 18 months ago, and then joined in on the Discord a year or so ago. Love the feeling of community that Aaron and Boat promote. Anyone who mentions anything gets positive support and encouragement from them. On top of that, the time they put into the show makes it a fantastic event. They really do an in-depth analysis of the game, as well as provide all kinds of fantastic information on the developers, as well as anyone involved in the game of the week. Very happy that I joined the Amigos community and look forward to the shows and events every week. Thank you, Aaron and Boat, for bringing us all together. Next up comes our boy Neil, RMC. He writes, Amigos felt like friends from the moment I stumbled across them. I love the enthusiasm, the focus on the subject, and the lack of drama. Just some cool dudes enjoying what they love and letting us join in. Long may it continue. Thank you, Neil.
Awesome.
And in case I haven't mentioned it, Neil and I host a show called This Week in Retro. So if you want retro news, you can check that out on YouTube.
Yeah, it's great.
Benny Cake writes, congratulations on hitting the big 300, fellas. I can't remember which episode I started listening at. I know the audio was a good deal more basic. That's being kind, Benny. Thank you. Now it's of the highest standard, but what hasn't changed is the warmth, humor, and sense of community that you have brought to the proceedings. I'll be raising a glass this weekend to your continued success and to a couple of hundred more episodes.
Thank you.
Dave, oh, go ahead, man.
Oh, just thank you. That's
oh
very
yeah,
nice.
Thank you, Benny. Benny hails from Ireland. Just I'm always happy whenever it's people from different countries.
Yes.
I love the global aspect. Dave Velociraptor from Scotland. He writes, I only started listening 18 months ago.
He's like he's been here forever.
And joined Discord a year ago, but I've caught up on all of them now. I love the warmth in the pods, that you're humble despite having a massive depth of experience and knowledge. As an Atari ST fan, I found the Amiga community at times to be toxic, but absolutely not here. The community in Discord matches the podcast. I hope you continue to enjoy making podcasts for years to come. Congratulations on 300 episodes, maybe an Atari ST or Amstrad CPC podcast next. Watch this space, Dave. You never know. You never know, man. The Duncan Styles, he writes, from humble beginnings to a worldwide retro empire, the likes of which has never been seen before. Soon the Amigos will lead the revolution as we march to the beat of the Patreon band and crush all opposition with our CPC 464s, the deadliest of all the 8-bits. I agree about that, Doc. The flag will fly over their crushed carcasses. Join them in the glorious retro bright future. Congrats, guys. 300 episodes, and you've only just started.
So clever.
Yeah.
Doug's been a great help to us over the years.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dunk.
Yes, you do.
Pixels at Dawn writes, I've been watching and listening to the boys from West by God, Virginia for the best part of a half decade now. From before the cameras were switched on, back when the sound was, well, not as good as it is now, that's for sure. Not only has the show given me weekly entertainment for years, it's also allowed me to make new friends. It's taken me to new Irish lands. It's given me the chance to sing, and it's opened up the opportunity to spend all my free time writing magazines. But most importantly, it's given me power. Unlimited power. Unlimited power? Not yet. I look forward to my world domination by episode 600. Thanks, guys.
Scary stuff, Pix.
Paul, aka Hermsky, the birthday boy, he writes, a firm, happy, and joyful 300th episode. I originally came across the Amigos through our Sinclair, and after listening to many of their episodes and thought it was about time I became a Patreon, joining Clive's Club. I very quickly learned of the other shows under their umbrella, and I was hooked. What makes this work so well is the warm community around it and how everyone is made to feel welcome from all corners of the world. There's definitely a democratic community feel to the channel, which I believe is the key to their success. I've learned so much through John, Aaron, and the Patreon gang, and I'm now looking forward to a good get-together after this crappy pandemic. Congrats, chaps. Let's raise a glass to another 300. And, of course, Paul getting it done with the ZX Spectrum videos on the YouTube channel. He's the man when it comes to the art of the text adventure. Next up, we have Super Famiking. Super Famiking writes, 300 episodes. Incredible. You guys should be extremely proud of everything you've achieved. I'm fairly late to the party here at Amigos, but since I found the guys, it's been a blast. It's taken me nearly 12 months, but I finally listened to all 299 previous episodes fully. Boat and Aaron have become an integral part of my day. From the minute I heard that first episode, I was drawn in straight away with the laid-back but passionate sounds of the boys. They'll tell you they're a couple of schlubs, but don't let them fool you. They know their stuff and are completely committed to providing quality Amiga-related entertainment every week. The format of the shows remained pretty consistent, and that's testament of them getting it right from day one.
Sorry.
Again, very kind, very kind. On a personal level, John and Aaron, along with their creative community, have given me an outlet for my retro gaming hobby that none of my friends or family share in real life. They've reignited my love of retro gaming and have inspired me to purchase and play other systems I'd had no interest in before. Not content with their dedication to the podcast and the Amiga scene, the Amigos have selflessly raised thousands of pounds for charity, as well as creating the community around the show we all love. So 300 shows in, I guess it's time to get off the fence and decide on my favorite Amigos presenter. Sorry, guys, it's got to be the news robot. The Amiga news robot is quite attractive. Again, congratulations on 300. It really is something to be proud of, and I hope you have the love and drive to do many more. If there's just one thing I want to say to the lads about everything they do, it would be simply thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, Super Fam King.
He wrote us a Super Fama book there. That was awesome.
Yeah, he did.
My God. I'm going to hire him to be my publicist.
Rob, speaking of publicists, speaking of published writers, Rob Flack O'Hara writes, I've listened to a lot of podcasts over the years and have never heard another one with two hosts that have more chemistry than Boat and Aaron. And perhaps more than that, I've never found another one that instantly made me feel like I was friends with the hosts, just listening in on their conversations. The Amigos is a show of the people, for the people, and by the people. I don't need gaming opinions from some elite snob sitting on a pile of unopened games. I want to hear from people like me, like us, who actually play games and occasionally fight about them. The community that has sprung up surrounding the show is a testament to the blood, sweat, and tears you both have put into it, and I couldn't be prouder to be part of it. It has been a blast watching the show mature and the network expand over the past 5 years, and I can't wait to see what the next 5 hold. Huzzah!
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Flag.
I appreciate that.
Graham W. Vebke, living legend. He writes, I commend you both on not only reaching 300 episodes, but by expanding your portfolio to create and include many other great shows as well. There's a show here for every retro taste, and who knows, maybe one day when I have more time, I can contribute more than ICC articles on everythingamiga.com and Discord reviews. You're already doing a ton, Graham. You're
in the band too, Graham.
Yeah. You pushed me towards exploring the Atari 800 and Coco. In my previous 8-bit ignorance, missed these wonderful machines. However, your greatest achievement, in my opinion, is the community around the shows. I've traveled 25-plus hours by plane to meet some of the community, and if we were able to right now, I would do it all again without even thinking about it. Congratulations on what you have created. It's helped me get through work days, days where I felt down in the dumps, and days where I just wanted to be entertained. During the particularly dark part of my life during 2018, your shows were some of the only stability I had. Though the booze I sent you made things a little unstable at times. That's true, Graham. Having said, a heartfelt thanks, because even though it sounds kind of crazy, you guys in this community helped me more than you can ever know. Chris Fold says, a man once said, I don't need someone to complete me. I need someone to make things a little bit less crap every now and again. And since 2015, you've been my go-to guys. I've listened to you when down as a pick-me-up. I've listened to you on long commutes to get me through. And most of all, I listen to you for pure entertainment. And 300 episodes in, you've never let me down. Great work, guys. Christian Russell writes, congratulations on the big 300, guys. Discovered your podcast at the beginning of 2020, and your musings have helped me, and I'm sure many others, cope with the crazy world we've been inhabiting for the past year and a bit. Whether it's John's acerbic wit or Aaron's folksy homespun mountain state wisdom, your bandage has entertained and lifted my spirits. And obviously, this has got to be the friendliest Discord server on Earth. Here's to the next 300. L. Curtis Boyle, all hail, writes, congratulations on episode 300, guys. I didn't find your Amigos show until I found one of your ARG Presents shows featuring the dragon. I reported it in our news segment on Coco Talk. But as many others have mentioned, the chemistry between all three of you was enticing enough for me to start checking out your other shows, and I've become a regular weekly viewer. And I don't even own an Amiga. Look forward to hundreds more. Frodo NL writes, congratulations on 300 episodes, gents. For me, it all started when I was pointed towards the first ever episode of Our Sinclair. I think I subscribed to the Patreon for that show the same day. Over time, I got more and more into all your shows, though, and by now the Friday recordings of Amigos are an integral part of my Friday evening. I've listened or watched all of the episodes except for the Elvira episode. I still need to listen to that one. How weird. Apart from that, this community also directly or indirectly brought me into contact with quite a few people I now consider friends. Thanks for creating a great show and a great community, and here's to many more shows. Thank you, Frodo. You're the man, man. Speaking of a streaming machine, Frodo gets it done. And we round things out. The last one, the slow Norris.
Makes sense.
I think Chris Folds said it best. Y'all are a real pick-me-up close to the end of my week. You've been a Friday tradition since 2016. Thanks to you guys for being you guys.
Man, that was I'm speechless, Bo. That was very, very nice of everyone to chime in like that. It's funny, all the names you mentioned, and they would say when they joined up, and I swear to you, if you asked me when these guys, I thought they'd been there forever. It's amazing. When Frodo said he found us through Sinclair, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I thought Frodo had been around. These guys seem like they've been around forever, you know. And that's very touching. That was very nice of them to write so kind things to us. I really appreciate that, Bo.
All right. And I believe, Aaron, that's just going to be enough.
Just a slim trim 2.5 hours, Bo. Just how we planned it, my friend.
That's right. That's right. Well, again, thank you guys so much for joining us. People that are hanging out with us in the chat right now, we appreciate you. Let's go ahead and just name them. I mean, we're going 2.5 hours. We might as well go 3.
Take it to the house. Yeah, go.
Yeah. Duncan Styles, Pixels of Dawn, our mods. They're getting it done. They get it done all the time. They make sure that nothing slips through. And in the chat, we've got 10 Mark here. We've got Amiga Live. We've got Antony Jazztrap, Arctic Cube, Atten, Barkbit, Beach Bum 7, Bitstorm, Brock 101, Buck Owens, Canadian Retro Things, Carbon 14, XYZ, Brian, Commander Root, Dark Show, spelled cool guy style, Dave's Donuts, Dave Velociraptor, Edvin Helland, Figgy 78, Frodo NL, Jigglebox, Great Owl G, Hades Osiris, Hermsky, Jason Warnes, J-Deb, Jeff Akorga, Kim Tommy 1, L. Curtis Boyle, Lion Jim Video, Long DNO, Lord Soup, Lisbon Themed, Marat Mano, Matt Duffert, Mitsuyama, Oram, Olav Hope, Paul Kitching, R-Typer, Raidens, RetroRewind.ca, Rob O'Hara, Scumboy, Serbs, Shadowy Sticks, Super Tech Boy, Tom Toms, TMX Twitcher, Tongadosa, Tunkin76, V&K, Vigoro Pros, Wide, World of Retro, Wishbone, XSplit Blop, and Z9K9.
Very good. But I want to mention, I meant to mention this earlier, but I also want to thank, there are some websites that we found invaluable over the years. Definitely Lemon Amiga, number one with a bullet, Hall of Light, Indie Retro News, Neil's
Wikipedia.org.
Yeah, Wikipedia. That's where we do it all. Thank you for the guys that invented cut and paste.
There's Indie Retro News.
Yeah, I said him.
Yeah,
he's
Indie Retro
awesome.
News. Vintage is the new old.
Yes.
Also good. Now
YouTube.
Aaron, YouTube. Thank you. Oh yeah, like all the YouTubers like Zoostaz, Al82.
Yeah, Long Plays.
Those guys have a great. All those World Long Plays, all those great videos. So and don't forget, if you want to get some gaming in, tune in tomorrow night, Saturday night, for the regular meeting of the Team Speaker Regulars. Correct?
Yeah, that will be going down. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, and of course, tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, the only place to be on a Saturday afternoon, twitch.tv/Coco Talk, or just tune into our channel, and we always host them. It's the greatest show all about the Tandy Color computer ever created.
I agree.
All right. That's it. We've plugged everything we know. We've talked to everybody we know. There's nothing left to do, Aaron. Let's take it to the house. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for listening. Here's the 300 more episodes. We'll see you next week. Until then, adios.